No, 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 no heroes. No, 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 no heroes. No heroes, baby.
Welcome back, guys, for round 6. After we had like a interesting red matchup, we're gonna have an interesting green matchup. So we're gonna have Uta versus Yamato, and I'm talking about dual color Yamato, obviously. And yeah, Ben, what are your thoughts about this matchup?
Yeah, it's another interesting matchup. Honestly, we've been treated to quite a few so far today. Not necessarily as familiar with this matchup as some of the other ones potentially. Green Uta, not a deck that's kind of it's stayed in sense, but it certainly hasn't kept the same popularity that it initially had when the deck released with the starter deck. Obviously, it's got a couple of extra pieces of film support as well recently. So I'm interested to see how this goes into Yamato. Obviously, you've got the 1 life advantage, so helps nullify the double attack a little bit if you're swinging 2-2-1. But there are going to be ways, undoubtedly, to make that math go into Yamato's favor a little bit more. And interested to see how that transpires.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I see your point. I think people were underestimating not Yamato, Uta at the start, but then there was like a flagship event in Japan where in EB01 Uta actually won the entire event, so a lot of people jumped onto the train that okay, Uta is not as bad as we thought with the consistency in the finding your entire deck besides 1 or 2 cards like 8-cost kit and I think it was mentioned yesterday 4-cost ISO that taps down a attacker. And yeah, I think it's an interesting matchup. Yamato, depending on what kind of list he's playing, can be just aggro and just go down to 0 life in like a blink of an instant and just rush him down. Or he's also gonna be like a turtle up version of Yamato, and we're gonna see a useless Captain Kid against useless Captain Kid. It would be funny. But I think the players are about to be ready. So we're gonna jump in soon. Actually, it's not soon. It's gonna be as I speak. So also I come to think of today, it was a bit lackluster on the side of predictions. So maybe we can get a prediction running for this one. So while we are having probably first 2 turns where nothing is happening, we're gonna have a prediction for this match. So you can vote for the deck that you believe is gonna win, but seeing that there's 3 done on the side of Yamato. What? Wait.
Wow. Not attaching all underneath and swinging at 8 with double attack.
What do you want to play on 3?
We're about to find out. It is a Draco Mihawk.
Oh.
That is going to play and bring with it a Neko Mamushi as well.
You know what? I'm here. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I was about to say Mihawk into Neko. I would have loved that would be a Kikunojo, but I mean Neko's also fine. Also, the prediction is right now up and running. So if you want to take a quick peek and see who's gonna win and earn some points on the way, you can do so. So swing also just 5. Probably playing it on a Nami and then using that 1 Dawn exactly to search a bit more effectively.
Yeah, and this goes to that point that you were saying at the start of the game with how consistent that this deck can be to find all its film pieces. There's a few different ways to do so. Obviously, that Nami to get them into the hand, and then one of the really fantastic sort of domino effect combos that you can pull off with this deck when you get to 7 Don is play down, block a Luffy for the 7, then on play down the Brook, on play, possibly play down the Nami and search one more if you're in an 8 Don turn, or with an Usopp or the like, or something like that. So there's a really nice way for 7 Don to get 3, maybe even 4 bodies out on the board.
We see another swing at baseline, not attaching any Don onto it. I mean, he's now swinging with the Mihawk, but there's an argument to be taken that you could have just put that Don onto your Yamato and swing for 6 in double attack, and then play something out and attach the rested Don onto Neko, clearing the Nami. But there's surely... It is...
Charlotte Cracker.
You know, today I see a lot of spice. No. I'm just gonna say it this way. I'm gonna see it.
Well, it's interesting because this is actually a card that I have seen played in Yamato lists, predominantly in my local scene, just to continue to push through that double attack. Obviously, inherently, as a 4-life leader, you are gonna have less life than your opponent. So with a Don attached, it's immediately 7k double attack, which could be really, really interesting and cause some really fun maths to go on. So it's certainly a card that I'm not super surprised to see, but maybe in the way that it's being played and the way that this game is going at the moment, certainly a little bit surprising.
I mean, if consider what is currently... Right. I hope that it's not a Kikinoshi in his head right now. It's just putting out there. Like, trying to poke and getting cut out of the hand of your opponent is fine, in my opinion. However, if you are playing to play Cracker regardless, then putting 1 Don onto Yamato, swing for 6, asking for 2 cards, if he really wants to get out of it, would be more beneficial, because then if he wants to swing and search next turn, you can just take the hit that you're receiving, and if he didn't take the hit earlier because he counted out with a 2k, you are now on 4 and you can counter off yourself. And if you are lower, you just attach 1 Don to Cracker, swing with double attack, swing with your leader with double attack, swing with Neko with double attack, not double attack, into one of the standing up characters.
Yeah.
But
yeah, getting punished actually a little bit for not doing that and not taking that line, because immediately it allowed the UTA player to gain 2 more cards in hand, search for the Nami, then use New Genesis as well, finding, I think, double Sanji, so more 2Ks to defend any future double attack swings that may come, and then finishing it off with a Brook, which on play was allowed to catch a Usopp alongside it as well. Now we are going to see that Charlotte Cracker that's going to attack, and with the less life, this will be 7k double attack.
so let's see how it's gonna be answered. Yes, indeed, gonna be just
8k is worth of counter there, so that's safe. Now it depends on how badly this Yamato player wants to start getting these double attacks going through. UTA is now on 4, so 2 double attack swings doesn't get 0.
There we have the line that I was hoping for earlier. Attaching Don, playing out Nami, attaching Don, the rest of Don onto the leader, swinging with Banish, and then attaching 2 Don with the leader ability onto Neko and just clearing out the active character that is still left. So I would assume that's what's gonna happen, but we're gonna swing into Nami. I hope so. Yep. So we pretty much recovered a bit from the earlier blunder, I would say, or I would call it. Not blunder, it's just a decision.
It's just a turn too late, isn't it? Turn too late. Then it could have been potentially pushed through, but I suppose wanted that 2 extra Don to make sure that the Onami was being played down. Make sure you were hitting with double attack, and definitely having it go through with, I think, 4 Don attached. So just deciding to hold off for the opportune moment, and it worked in that scenario.
So I would assume there's gonna be a swing at the Neko, and we are protecting the Neko, which I think is a good line to take. We see the and we also saw Holly, so it is a mix of Sky Island, just the best of both worlds, I guess. Playing a bit of Sky Island, playing the Wano package, swinging onto Cracker, and he goes through. And I didn't keep track of the Don count, so maybe that's 7 Don left for the.
Looks like it, yeah. I think there's two Dons still left to
Yeah.
draw, so 1 attached onto UTA, with them going second in this game. Stands to reason that there's 7 Don left available for our UTA players. So we could potentially go into that domino combo that we spoke about earlier, Luffy into Brook into something else. We know that there's a Brook in hand because it was revealed and drawn off of the leader UTA effect.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. Luffy is going to start first. Are we going to go into Brook?
It's a pass. I mean, maybe. Was it? Is it not the Brook that we already have in play right now?
No, because that's attacked.
Oh, fair point.
That attacked. So, interesting decision not to play anything further there. With the Monkey D. Luffy blocker there. Now with 9 Don for Yamato. 2 left.
If you really want to push it, to play something out for like 2 Don, attach Don to Neko with the rest of Don to be Don efficient, but you can just attach it normally and clear or force that the Monkey Ruffy is cleared. So then you just swing with Yamato, the remaining one, and clear his only blocker. I feel like this is one of the lines. Yep. So taking the bottom. I mean, if that one is you're the one who should disappear, that must be paid for. There's also an argument to just poke with Onami, putting the 2 Don onto Onami, but I like removing the blocker and then swing with the remaining Don onto.
Yeah, the other potential option that you could have maybe done here is, as like you say, if you wanted to really apply some pressure and really push through, if one of those cards in hand was an Onami, then the 2 Don could have been paid for an Onami as opposed to Hiyori, grant the banish onto leader Yamato, the 2 rested Don then was paid for the Onami, attach that onto Nekomamushi. We still get the attack into the standing up blocker. It would only be a 7 against 7 if it's just the 2 Don attached, but it does still give you an opportunity and a way to potentially get that blocker gone and out of the way, and then Yamato would be been able to attack with double attack and banish for the next attack that turn.
That is true. That would be quite perfect. But considering that there are 2K count. I can't speak. Considering that there's a Sanji and a Chopper in the Uta's player's hand, there's an easy way to out that play. So I would consider just attaching as much Don as possible, assumingly possible, towards Neko to attack Ruffy directly, and making sure he's off the board so he's not sticking to protect a potential useless Captain Kid that is most likely coming down.
Very well could. It's just a little discussion at the moment on the table as to what has transpired in that last turn or so. I think we might be prepared to get ourselves back underway? We will do in just a moment, but it certainly seems that the Yamato deck, the Yamato player, is slightly on the front foot at the moment. I think would that be fair to say? See how the rest of the game goes forward. It's still the decision not to play anything more from the Luffy blocker is a very interesting decision from my standpoint. I know obviously I can't say that I've played a lot of UTA, but the decks that I have played that are similar to it, that like to go wider, you want to take those opportunities as many times as you possibly can. So looks like the issue has been resolved, that our
Indeed.
players are back underway, and we are attaching that to, looks like the rested Don that was paid for the Hiyori onto Neko Mamushi. And maybe a little bit more as well, just to try and guarantee, in fact, a lot more, to try and guarantee that blocker Luffy is going to go down.
So yep, you're gonna see the attack. He should be at 9 down, so that's a goner right there. So swinging with 7 into the UTA, easily being answered by a 2k and the 1k. Yeah, there's the chopper, and there is the brook that you mentioned earlier. So now there's a turn over, and let's see. I mean, UTA player has enough cards on the board and enough Dawn to safely remove the Neko and poke at the Yamato, but considering that a card was moved to top of life by Hiyori, I don't think it's the best idea. And we see a 5k swing, I would assume, into Neko, demanding a card from hand. Oh, what?
Gonna attack and reveal Kikunojo as well.
Attacking into life, knowing that there was a card placed. I mean, for me,
a little bit of a mistake, a little bit of a question mark. Now looks like we're attacking with the Brook.
Maybe they are just
5.
trying to poke down to get into a, what's the name? Playing down Luffy, so they both are rested anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, I mean, if he doesn't have Luffy in hand, and I hope for him he has Luffy in hand, that is quite dangerous.
Yeah, it's a scary place to be. I think there's about 5 or 6 cards that are there in the hand at the moment for our UTA player. It's just the one, I believe, for Yamato. We're going to attack in with UTA at 6. Reveals I am invincible.
Oh, that
is a massive option for UTA.
Alright. Clearing the Neko. So now he's at 9 Dawn. So there is the 8 Dawn for the 8-cost kid. And 1 Dawn to put under him, so he is safe. Mm-hmm. And I would assume that is not gonna be the play. We're gonna see
7-cost Luffy.
And passing, not playing out a card. Alright.
Again. So interesting as to why this Luffy is just being played as a 7-cost blocker. This is one of your kind of like key pieces in, I mean, any film deck really. You can go back, as far as the old film Eustace Captain Kidd days, when that was a thing in a deck in prevalence around. Gee, I think that was the 4.5.
And we see the
method.
Holy Jones. Oh no! So we're taking the top life, and with the remaining 3 down, we're gonna attach it to the leader, bringing for, I believe it's gonna be 8. Yeah, it must be
8 double attack.
We know that there should be an additional 2k. Yeah, we're gonna see 2Ks getting out of that situation, and now there must be there's a decision to be made whether you want to control the board so you don't die on the clapback. And we swing 5 into is it into
Life.
leader or is it
Yeah.
into
Looks
rook?
like it's life from the tapping there of the leader from
And
to play.
we're
It's going to be
taking
taken.
it. So we're going for game. All right.
We are indeed 6 at life. Does have
And
the
there
2
is a
Sanji though,
2K.
so we're safe. Now I think is when we shift once again attention and start trying to think about board. Yeah, perfect. Take
But
care of the
I think
Luffy.
that is not enough. I think that is game on Uta's side. 100%. Because this is just a situation of
Oh yeah, we've still got the I'm invincible.
yes.
We've still got the I'm invincible in hand. So we
No,
can
I think
just-
at that moment you needed to go for board. Just
Mm,
trying to control the board and not die instantly. Because Hody Jones was a commitment to be like, all right, I'm gonna pick up and swing. And we see, all right, 7K, probably most likely into leader, and they take it.
will be taken.
And that is game.
Yeah, they scoop it up.
I mean, they know they're not gonna survive. They can,
No,
they can be
realize what's
attacked 3
coming.
times.
Yep.
That is unfortunate.
Wow. What an interesting game. What an interesting matchup there. But it's worked out. And we've got a green UTA that is at what 6-0 now
Yeah.
in the tournament standings. Some really interesting plays that were made throughout that game across both players actually. The ones that I can still kind of I'd be dying to know what the thought process is. I suppose it's just to try and keep the counters in hand defensively, is to not choose to play anything alongside those 2 green Monkey D. Luffy blockers. It's always such an interesting tool and such a great tool that you'd want to utilize to go wider, continue to poke and push forward on the next turn, but deciding just to keep the defensive counters in hand, I suppose, in that situation. Worked for them though.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I think at the first the first 7 course, he should have played this book that he searched earlier to just flood the board because he had the cards in hand, but he chose to play it 1 by 1. And I think the second one, because considering that he only had like Sanjis and choppers, I think so. It was fine to just be there and be prepared as a blocker, but I think it was a tough match. Yamato player, in my opinion, had I didn't see his hand. I need to be as fair as that. So, but in my opinion, the Unami into swing with banish into live play could have been a turn earlier and would have enabled a lot more, trying to control his hand size, either forcing him to trash, not count out with like 3 cards in hand, or taking the hit and then enabling Nico to hit the Nami that is also not being easily protected.